This NFL Week 4 Picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WynnBet. Bet $100 at WynnBet and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today.
What's up, everybody? You're watching SGPN. Fuck the Cowboys. Let's go, baby.
Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second that money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Should we update the nickname to Real Fire? Real on fire, walking on fire. Holy fucking shit. Never before have I started off a season 6-0 in locks.
I know, Ryan. We are dealing with this. I'm catching a little heat just sitting next to you.
First Ron goes yard for home run 61.
I know you were watching every game.
Just
you were
living and dying. Can't wait to see the Billy Crystal documentary on this one. Yeah, just huge Yankee fan growing up. Shout out to Nagels. I'm sure he was pretty pissed off after Aaron Judge got something positive happening for him.
Nagels pointing out that you guys have to wait until Colby finished his 3 hours in the studio.
Look, we do apologize on Colby's behalf. Fucking 3 hours of college football. Are you serious?
Yeah, guys go hard. Speaking of going hard, Ryan, before we get to all the picks,
Wait, what?
the NFL Week 4 picks against the spread, it's time for this week's winner or nominee of Real Men of Degens.
SGPN presents Real Men of Degens.
Real Man of Degens.
We salute you.
D Bettis. That's right. D Bettis sent in a screenshot and a photo of his 8-year-old son holding up a 9-team teaser that he has just hit. The expression on the young child's face, Ryan, this kid has a bright future. I mean, 9-team teaser at age 8. This kid is gambling at a 11th grade level. So shout out to D Bettis and his son for really just passing on a great tradition, a true Degens only in the making. So we salute you, D Bettis, the father and son combo.
He's in the chat, so
shout out to you. Hit up Ryan and get a merch card.
Hopefully, hit up Ryan. What does Ryan have to do with anything? Yeah, hopefully the kid's asleep, but it really is. It's like a complementary curriculum to the mathematics, the Common Core, as you will have it in the schools today. The teaser math when you get up to 9, I don't even know that. So shout out to the kid for knowing that. And hopefully he wins, because that's the best way to get addicted to something, right? Get hooked in right away.
Get him
First
early.
time you throw the dice. All right. Are we? I'm not as. Before you play the music, you typically make fun of me. I didn't give you any sort of preview on how I felt the slate this week.
Ryan normally says, a lot of easy.
Not this week.
Oh, really? Wow. And Ryan, you have been
a lot of shit to wade through.
I'll say this, as someone who's more superstitious than you have just been spitting in the face of the gambling gods, taunting them with your 6-0 lock record, and I'm here for it.
So when you tout, what is it called? Not being.
I'm a casual tout. I don't
yell into the abyss that known to the internet.
I don't say it's easy, although I have gone 3-0 with my money line plays, keeping myself alive with some nice dogs.
It better be easy. We've been doing this long enough, Sean. It'd be embarrassing if it wasn't easy. Just football guys over here.
Ryan thinks it's a hard slate. All right, we got a hard slate.
Oh no, it's a shitty slate. Like it's a lot of shitty shit to wade through. Figure out where the value is. Don't worry, I threw on my goulash. Goulashes?
Value galoshes, Ryan. Value hawks incoming. Hey, even though the slate may not be great, you know what is great? sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. Head over there, bet $100, get $100 risk-free bet. They're live in so many states: Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. You got to get their same game parlays going. We gave out our Thursday night parlay, same game parlay, win, build a bet. Did it with on the same episode as Brandon Jacobs, the Thursday night props and Brandon Jacobs episode. Check that episode out if you missed it, because Brandon Jacobs, tip of the cap to Brandon Jacobs, just for his true hatred of the Cowboys. Gotta respect him. And like you said, he would rather have played for the Philadelphia Eagles. Didn't work out, but you know what does work out? WinBet, baby. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/WinBet. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at WinBet.com. Listen to 21 or older. And present in the state where play through WinBet is available. If you're someone who knows a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. We're also brought to you by PromoGuide.us. Best place to go if you're interested in plus EV betting strategies. One they have coming up that they gave out, which I think is, I'm with them. Justin Jefferson anytime touchdown, Ryan. This is a boost. Normally it's at -150. So I guess fair odds, they said, would imply plus 9.3% EV. They found a spot where you can get it for plus 100, a great boost. They're recommending you get down on that, and it's hard not to think Justin Jefferson anytime touchdown. He's struggled in the past couple of games. I think he's due. Favorites have done well over in London, but again, at the very least, it's a great price. That's what's cool about PromoGuide.us. They do the heavy lifting for you. They find some of the best bets, but also the best prices, making sure you are a plus EV better. Again, go to PromoGuide.us and check out their 100% track, transparent, proven method for betting smarter. So make sure you check out PromoGuide.us. All right, Kramer, let's get to it. Woo! Again, Kramer, 6-0 with his locks. I'm 3-0 with my dogs. I'm hanging on to that.
It is a good teaser week, so you can definitely expect to have a winning
and
teaser.
I would have hit my teaser last week if it wasn't for that goddamn lateral.
You really got boned by the Steelers doing Steeler things once again. All right.
And Jimmy G running out of the end zone like a real what do you call it? What's the worst Italian insult we can say on the air, Ryan? Fanook?
A Fanook. Fugazi. There's a lot of things that could be taken the wrong way. Here's the bottom line. For a guy who was riding as high as possible, and I know we already recapped this, but is there a worse thing he could have done?
I mean,
butt fumble, spike the ball when or kneel the ball when you're supposed to spike it. Like
Kirk Cousins accidentally kneeling instead of spiking it still for me goes down as the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen a quarterback do in my life.
Second dumbest is Dan Orlovsky bringing it to everyone's attention that he did it before. Many people didn't even know that. Talk about a fucking attention hog. Like, come on, dude. You're bringing attention to the fact that you once also ran out of the fucking end zone. You're supposed to be a quarterback. You're smart. You don't even know what the white lines mean. All right, you want to talk football, Sean?
Let's talk football, aka the National Football League. I like doing these shows at night, Ryan. The energy's high. I'm jacked up. I'm ready to flip the table.
Yeah, got in some yoga before the show.
Did do a hot yoga class. I'll share this moment. Normally, the hot yoga is a safe space, but the instructor, it's actually a grueling class. I know everyone, thinks I'm fugazi for doing it, but it's a really ass kicker. I mean, cardio, weightlifting, push-ups in 120-degree heat and humidity. Come at me, bro. But at one point, the instructor said, "Okay, everyone, look in the mirror and tell yourself you're a baddie." Now, what I didn't realize was that, and everyone else realized, this was a non-verbal instruction. You were supposed to just mentally say it. So in a completely quiet room, I just look at myself in the mirror and go, "You're a baddie, Sean." Got some laughs. So
nice. There you go. Broke up the tension. I mean, it sounds like you were prepping to speak to us on what the climate might be like in South Florida this week. All right, we got a Thursday night doozy.
Let's go,
Sean. It turns out the Miami Dolphins are 3-0. Tua is making you look like an asshole. This number opened.
It's the two and on was right, Ryan. The truth's out there.
The sharp folks out there got down on 2.5 or 3.
Yeah.
It's since moved up to 3.5, as high as 4 in some places. -185 on the money line for the Bengals. Dolphins +155. 47.5 is the total. In some ways, this feels like the ultimate public spot. But then I realize we're just swimming in a tank of sharks. because this is the situational. So every single like smart person that I consider their opinion valuable, which is a pretty short list. That everyone thinks this is like a great spot. Whether it's a rest disparity thing, a Thursday night thing. We're seeing a Bengals team buy low. Bengals didn't really have to play in the second half of their game.
I mean, 90 snaps for the Dolphins defense in the heat and humidity. Yeah. I mean, the Bills players were going like Stephon Diggs said his entire body was cramping, and not to mention Tua. Tua again, whatever that back ankle thing, that he's got going on.
Head. You mean no, not the head. Definitely not the
Spinal.
head.
He's dealing with a spinal issue. And then not only him, but Jalen Waddle is dealing with the groin issue. Teron Armstead is dealing with the toe issue. Those guys are both questionable.
Left tackle, receiver, quarterback.
And they had to leave Miami early to go practice at the Cincinnati Bearcat Stadium. A bunch of kids were filming their practice and tweeting out the videos and tagging the Bengals, trying to give them inside information to the point that
shout out to those fans. I mean, the Bengals have some fans. Like that's real stuff.
And Cincinnati is a legit sports town. I just think this is just I know maybe it's turned into a little chalky, but Miami is they are an outlier of all outliers. They're getting outgained 54 yards per game. Eventually that's going to catch up to you. And kudos to them for finding out ways to beat the Bills, to beat the Ravens. Like those are high quality wins. This is just a classic, like, hey guys, fuck this game. We'll get ready for next week. We'll take the long bye. And Cincinnati to me at 1-2 is the more desperate team. Like come fourth quarter, who is getting up for that fourth quarter? The Cincinnati Bengals, your former AFC champs who are 1-2, backs against the wall at home, or the Miami Dolphins who have already exceeded expectations, already put Tua in the MVP mix, Mike McDaniel coach of the year.
September Super Bowl, Sean. It's just the Eagles and the Dolphins. Let's go.
Well, it's just
no more games.
It's just a perfect time for the Bengals to coast or the Dolphins to coast, and you throw in the rest disparity and the injuries too. Like if Tua was 100%, then we could talk, I think. But dude, he was saying like it hurts when he turns his body. Like, come on, what are we talking about?
Is there a move if what's the move if Bridgewater's there?
Bridgewater? I mean, that's why.
Like, what's the spread move to?
Oh, okay. I think it could get up to 7. But I mean, really,
let's play the game. Is Tua really worth that much more?
A hurt Tua, especially. You know what I mean? Like if Tua completely healthy,
like dead serious. Does this line really need to move that far if Tua is not in?
No, but I think if they need action on the Dolphins with Teddy Bridgewater, I think they got to put it up to 6 or 7, right?
I mean, I doubt it. I doubt it goes past 6. I would say it goes like 5.5 because they have no fucking clue.
Yeah, and then they let the betting market take care of it. But and we could have that conversation because it's 7 with Teddy Bridgewater, with a healthy Bridgewater. That game's kind of interesting. But if they're going to trot out Tua, which it looks like they are, and we're getting -3.5, I think this is a great price. So give me the Bengals.
I agree. I mean, there's no other way to play this. We've gotten cute with the road. I have not been good on Thursday night. I should point this out. So I'm trying to avoid this one, but I did bet it immediately. Like the situational spot. We might have even discussed this in the just having that Miami. Also, Miami coming from a home spot too. Like everything is going from positive to negative for both teams. So and the one angle I will say that I don't think most shops are bringing up is the fact that like yes, Miami's tired as shit, but the Bengals also didn't have to go hard. Like it's both of those things. Like they really,
and the short week and the road thing and practicing not at your own stadium.
Yeah, the early travel might actually help them, but yeah, the hurricane stuff.
And Teddy Tua is supposed to be getting all this treatment, but then you leave early because of the hurricane. Like I just don't see how it works out for them.
Well, hopefully it's not I love how they're so adamant it wasn't his head. Feels like it kind of was. It feels like that scene in Dirty Work where Artie looks at Norm and asks him that question. He goes, "No." Yeah, we'll see what actually happened. All right, we've got London football Sunday morning. Listen, guys, Sunday is going to be fucking glorious. God's eye is going to be watching F1 at 5 a.m. We got London football at 6:30 a.m. here on the West Coast, and we have the Minnesota Vikings.
Degens only.
Minnesota Vikings heading over the pond, the proverbial pond, later than the Saints, who left straight from Charlotte, going North Carolina all the way to London. Again, we saw this worked for Atlanta, staying out west last week. Saints are +2.5, +120 on the money line, -2.5 for the Vikings. I'm sorry. -145 on the money line. 43.5 is the total. This is tricky because, as you mentioned, if you take the Jags out, the favorites tend to do pretty well.
Favorites 21-8-1 straight up and 18-12 against the spread in London.
Is this a primetime game?
I would not consider this a primetime game. I get what you mean. It's an island game, but it's not at night. Something about, well, I guess no, it's not at night. It's like afternoon over there. That's why it's 6 o'clock over here. I don't think this counts for overnight. Again, this to me is an injury thing. Like, that back stuff takes a long time for it to heal. Imagine you have a broken back like Jameis Winston, and then you got to take an international flight. That to me is just crazy. Matchup wise, I think the Vikings offense is going to be able to move the ball. Even if Dalvin Cook ends up being out, Alexander Mattison, it's not a massive drop off for him. I do think Justin Jefferson is due for a breakout game here against the Saints team. The only thing that's kind of scary for me is the fact that the Saints are not getting much of the money and that they're 0-3 against the spread. But the Saints are just they're great at fucking this season up so far. They lead the league in turnovers with 9 in these wet, sloppy fields. I think a team like the Saints are going to turn it over a bunch. Now, maybe I guess the case for the Saints is Lattimore locks down Justin Jefferson. They're able to move the ball against this Vikings defense, but I don't know. I like the matchup here. This to me seems like a classic Captain Kirk game.
So for those, if you want the specifics on why it's not a primetime game, like you said, sun sets in London at 6:30. The game kicks.
I love the extra leg of research.
The game kicks at 2:30, so unlikely to have the sun go down on Kirk Cousins here. I will say, monitor the on top of the fact that honestly, one of my notes is like broken back, long flight, but yeah, the length of the injury report is quite long, and then when you factor in that.
For the Saints.
Yeah, sorry. When you factor in like the big injury for the Vikings, Dalvin Cook, we like Madison, right?
Yeah.
We're not super worried if Dalvin Cook's out. So
I'm just laughing because I have the injury report and they say Jameis Winston torso. And it's just, I don't know. Calling it a Jameis Winston is torso. I don't know. That is just funny to me. Michael Thomas is still banged up.
Wait, so I see an injury report where Jameis is listed as back, ankle, and torso.
Okay. Yeah. I have the PFF thing up and it just says torso questionable. Maybe they don't have the other stuff.
I will say that I think a lot of the limited practices may be just old like vet stuff, but even like given the tackle Ramczyk a day off, like I would be
turnover worthy plays. Jameis Winston 5.15%. Kirk Cousins 3.01. I think again in these London games we've seen it every time. It's either one special teams play or a weird fumble or a pick. Like it's just one turnover that they end up being ugly close games. But give me the Vikings laying the 2.5.
I honestly, when this number has been 3 for most of the week. And I had very, very strong, like I was just thinking like, man, this really feels like the numbers, the Saints are talking to me. But the last thing, the reason I brought up the injury report, I didn't get to it, but Taysom Hill being banged up to me matters because I feel like he generates like 3 to 7 points a game. It
is sad, but especially with the fact that Kamara hasn't been 100%, Michael Thomas has been banged up. Olave has been getting open and making some plays, but they're not fully clicked. Taysom Hill gives them that spark.
Yeah.
Is he playing? Where are we at with Taysom Hill?
He's limited. Again, he's one of like the 12 guys on the injury report.
Yeah.
So, I think again, boring start to the show, but lockstep, Sean, give us, guys, if the second we turn this game on, we're going to realize it feels like prime time and Kirk Cousins going to have piss running down his leg. All right. Titans head to Indy.
You like that.
Where
Ryan.
the Colts are laying 3.5. Big question mark. -190 on the money line, +155 for the Titans. 42.5 is the total. All right. I told you this was a tough week.
Yeah.
For the most part. This is the easiest game on the fucking board. I mean, are you kidding me right now?
I know I had to eat crow going up against the close your eyes special, and it unfolded as you would expect Close Your Eyes special where Kansas City did everything exactly wrong. I mean, did you see the whole like the pass rusher that got in Matt Ryan's face? And then that's what extended the drive, Chris Jones. And the ref won't repeat what he said. They got a personal foul because of something he said. It was just like,
what do you call Matt Ryan? Is there a chance he called him a private school pussy and the ref was offended by the terminology?
I don't like. What do you have to say? Because normally, if it's so horrific for it to warrant a flag, it has to be some sort of like crazy slur or something that's like clearly
Matt Ryan
out of
used
bounds.
a racial slur.
but the penalty wasn't on Matt Ryan. If Matt Ryan was a pass rusher and it was a black quarterback and they didn't want to repeat it, you might be able to guess what it would be. But now it's like, what do you say to Matt Ryan that crosses the line so crazily? I have no idea. All I know is just watching that entire game, I kept thinking, can't wait to fade the Colts next week. Can't wait to fade the Colts next week.
Perhaps he was just making a joke about the Robbie Anderson situation where he wanted to like skull fuck the cop's face. Maybe he said that to Matt Ryan about his wife.
Yeah, it would have to be something of that nature. And then you start looking at the at the matchups. Like I don't know, man. Jonathan Taylor just popped up on the injury report dealing with the toe issue. It does look like Shaq Leonard's coming back. So maybe that's obviously that helps the Colts a little bit. Titans have covered 3 in a row against the Colts. I just like the Colts are just so fraudulent. I know the Titans aren't great, but man, I think the better coach at this point, I think Frank Reich is kind of getting exposed. Vrabel again, I think he's competent in spots where no one believes in him. You know what I mean? When they get super chalky and they're a favorite, that's where things get squirrely for them. But I think this Titans defense is really, I mean, the Chiefs had a ton of opportunities. I know, Ryan Tannehill is obviously no Patrick Mahomes, but it feels like they're going to be able to move the ball on this Colts defense.
Well, I have some nuggets too, because if you look at Tannehill has actually performed pretty well against the Colts. He had 6 TDs last year against the Colts in 2 games. The road team has won this game outright in this matchup the last 6 games. Like that's insane. But mostly this is really just about the Close Your Eyes special came home. It was gross. Matt Ryan looks like a rag doll. Just watch a compilation of him getting tackled. It looks unsafe. This is the part of the game where as a youth sports coach, I want to be like, all right, like it's not worth having you out here, right? Like it's like
you have a future to think about.
Like if I was Brandon Staley last week, I would have said the same thing about Justin Herbert when you're losing by 28 points in the 4th quarter. But no, these fucking NFL coaches. But yeah, Matt Ryan, we were the only place that I heard like stomping our feet about how washed Matt Ryan is. Seems like everyone else.
It reminds me of the early signs of Peyton Manning. Like there towards the end there, it was very, very obvious he was completely washed, completely cooked. But I feel like we're almost there. I mean, look at just that film in that Jacksonville game, and even look at that Chiefs game. Like at no point did he really look good. Again, 3rd and like 15, they would have had to punt, and then they get bailed out with that pass interference or that unsportsmanlike taunting call. If that doesn't happen and they don't win the game, the spread is like Titans -1, right?
Or I think people are still sitting on what the preseason projection looked like. Sure, Darius, aka Shaq Leonard, might be back. Buckner probably not. It seems like it's a tough go for this Colts team. And to your earlier point, like wow, rotating all these old ass busted quarterbacks just is not working. I think mentioned it early on, but the Vrabel dog angle too is strong, right? 3 points or more, 17-8 straight up in those games. So
straight up. I knew he was good ATS.
The ATS record's 18-7, but he's 17-8 in those games. So basically, the spread is dead when Vrabel's a 3-point dog or bigger.
Well, and that reminds me, like overall, we always preach the spread is dead. In general, 47 games so far in the NFL. 41 times the favorite covered the spread or the dog won outright. Only 6 games so far where the spread has actually mattered.
Well, you can make that 48 because the Giants game, which was excluded.
Oh, you're right. So yeah, 48. So and 6 of those
exclude
times
the Lions.
6 of those times, 2 of the Lions. So the Lions, Dan Campbell continues the streak of not winning and covering. They're really hilarious team.
If you take the Lions out of that stat, it's pretty hilarious. All right, the spread really is dead.
And dogs in general are good straight up. 27-18-2 so far this season. Away dogs 14-9-1 straight up. Like home field has just not been great so far. And I think most people, the hardcore people who do power rankings, the default was like 3 points for home field. I think it's like a lot of like the spread people are like 1.5 to 2, depending on the environment.
It's wild. It's the AAU future, Sean. No one roots for teams; they just root for players. Chicago heading to New York. Sean, one of these teams will be 3-1 next week.
This is hilarious.
The Giants coming off an ugly Monday night game. They're laying 3.5. Sean, -7, 170, +140 for the Bears. 39.5 is the total. Boy, I probably should be saying the same thing about the Giants I just said about the Colts.
Yep.
But this Bears team's really bad.
This Bears team is really bad. Here's the difference. I think the Bears are not in loser denial. The Bears know. And again, I was super high on Justin Fields. It just has been a complete disaster so far. They're not even trying to let him throw the ball. I mean, it is comical the restrictions they put on him, and you're like, why are they doing that? Per PFF, he's had a 9% turnover worthy play rate so far. The next closest player is 5.9, which is insane. He has 6 turnover worthy plays in 3 games on 45 pass attempts. Every player ahead of him has 115 or more pass attempts.
That's impressive.
297 passing yards for Justin Fields. Lowest through the first 3 weeks since the merger. You always know it's a good stat when they say since the merger.
Merger happened a while ago. Most kids don't even know there was a merger.
Here's what I would say: Daniel Jones is a favorite, 3-6 against the spread, and I'm gonna be using this nugget so far. Teams looking ahead towards the London game. I think since they started tracking 41% the cover. So far 0-2 straight up and 0-2 against the spread.
When you're the Bears and the Giants, you're not looking ahead.
No, but the Panthers and the Saints again were those first 2 teams looking ahead, 0-2 straight up, 0-2 against the spread. I just think the
Vikings and Saints, but yeah,
Vikings and Saints. Sorry. Maybe I messed that up. Either way,
you had everything but the team names. You got it.
Okay, so 0-2 against the spread. I guess Vikings did win, but they didn't cover. I just think the Bears have an identity. They create turnovers, which I think the Giants struggle to do. And this is just going to be an ugly game where no one wants to throw the ball. And I'm going with the Bears, who have a better rush defense, and they're getting 3.5 points. Giants are 28th in the league in rush defense. Bears are 3rd in pressure rate. And we saw what happens. You can say it's not Daniel Jones's fault. I still think some of those plays he has to see the blitz coming on some of those. But
hold on. I'm not going to let you. He played well. Like, go look at anyone who grades. He played well last week, in spite of the line being complete shit. Like, had he been worse, he would have taken 10 sacks. We would have been talking like things we say about Joe Burrow, right? Here's the reason I think you're wrong, because I think the way that what me self-scouting, the way that you take down a Wink Martindale defense is quick passing. It takes all the bullshit out of it. The Cowboys pulled off a fucking mirror. Maybe Cooper Rush, like that ball was getting out of his hands quick. Justin Fields, nothing gets out of his hands quick.
That's true, but they don't let him pass a bunch. And they're gonna let him run the ball. I think Khalil Herbert is gonna have a big day against this Giants rush defense.
The Giants have played 3 teams.
Yeah.
One of them showed up with a good offensive game plan. The other 2 didn't. The 2 that didn't lost the game. That's the bottom line. Now I think
this is going to be like a 16-13 game. I
have to lay it. I can't. My Justin Field. This is the culmination of me telling you Justin Field. What did I say? What was my scouting report on Justin Fields?
Not good on the whiteboard.
Some teams, aka most teams, are saying they're worried about his processing ability. And what have we learned? The fucking guy can't process. Can I get a win for that, please? Can I be right about something? Giants roll. Lay the 3.5. Don't.
21 points, 19-16. I just don't think you can lay 3.5 with their offensive line.
We're not putting this on the card, but I am not taking the Bears on the road. You'll say this about other teams going forward. Oh, I can't take this team on the road. You can't bet Justin Fields on the road, only getting 3.5 points. Need a touchdown or more.
That's fair, but I mean, a lot of those same things apply to Daniel Jones.
Justin Fields would have done far worse last week against that Cowboys pass rush. It's an objective statement.
I mean,
it's an objective statement.
I get Giants fans holding on to that, but
no, it's not. It's you didn't watch the tape. I watched the tape.
I watched the tape. I watched him
what would you have Daniel Jones do much better than
get rid of the ball quicker? His
who? That's how I know you're not watching the film, because you're not seeing the receivers downfield covered.
No, you throw guys open if you're a good quarterback.
Okay.
I mean, is he an average quarterback?
Sean, they let up the most pressures in the history of the NFL in a single game.
But some of that is on the quarterback.
Okay.
Carson Wentz took 9 sacks. Is that all on the Commanders' offensive line?
No, but Carson Wentz ran in. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, look at the grades on Daniel Jones. He was not running into sacks. He was doing a good. As much as I haven't, he didn't play well in the first couple of games. He played better in the third game.
Okay,
that's what I would say. And I think you didn't watch the tape, so it's fine.
I did.
It's fine.
I watched a lot of tape, right?
You didn't watch the tape.
I'll tell you who didn't watch tape. Daniel Jones when it comes to cornerback blitzes, because that cornerback
you're
blitz,
picking out one play. Okay, yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
he should have seen the pressure there.
Or the other play, 2-minute drill for the game, you throw a pick.
All right,
that to me is not a good game. If you're throwing an interception in a must-win situation,
I'll let the chat answer the question here. But obviously, you didn't see the receiver fall down. It would have been a first down out route, out of bounds. Receiver fell down.
Okay.
Buffalo. These are facts. I'm objective. You're subjective. Buffalo heads to Baltimore.
But are they getting any of the receivers back this week?
We'll see. Tony's a question mark. Buffalo.
Young Joka
heads to Well, he's working on another some new lyrics. Buffalo heads to Baltimore. Buffalo on the back-to-back road spot, which has actually been pretty good this year, Sean. You wouldn't believe it, but teams on the back-to-back road spot, 4-2 ATS, 4-2 straight up. 4 games apply this week. This is the first Buffalo coming to town after that hot Miami game, where, as you mentioned, what were the offensive players doing?
I mean, they were cramping up.
They were
90 offensive plays.
Buffalo -3, -165 on the money line. Baltimore +135, 51 is the total. Lamar has looked fucking good. Lamar MVP +2000, looking pretty strong.
Yeah.
And it's quiet because you got some other guys like Tua and Jalen Hurts, September Super Bowl candidates, doing well. So Lamar kind of he's not the favorite yet in the MVP category. That's all I'll say. Meanwhile, I know that we like to talk about how the Heat affected the defense for Miami and why we're fading them on Thursday night. I don't think we're making enough about that same point for Buffalo's offense. I think this is a absolute smash spot for Baltimore. I grabbed it early in the week at 3.5 because I'm smart.
Did you give it out to your clients?
No,
at least?
No, I don't have any clients. The Kramer gang. Look, this was just the Sunday night. Let me just go. This is wrong. And so Baltimore still at +3. I'm on Baltimore. There's no way I'm not going to be on Baltimore here. And for the Bills fans who keep coming at me, I picked against them all 4 weeks now. I will have gone against the Bills 4 straight weeks. I'm 1-2 ATS. So shut the fuck up. Stop acting like I'm wrong. This is the Bills. The Bills bandwagon. Come on. There's too much weight on the wagon. The wheels are going to fall off. I like this team. I like what this team is going to be. But why are we suggesting the defense is just they're better? Because Lamar is making the passes now. Lamar is dialing up those passes down the field. And so if the pass rush can't get home, the secondary is going to have some problems.
In that Miami game, to me, it was a very easy play because of how banged up the Bills defense was. Micah Hyde is still out, but then you got a lot of guys. This is why it's kind of tough. Ed Oliver, Jalen Phillips, Justin Poyer, they're all questionable. So these are all guys that might play.
No, they're out.
Really? Because they were practicing today.
Poyer's out.
Poyer's out?
I'm pretty sure Poyer's not going to play.
Okay. Because I thought they said he was limited in practice today.
Yeah. I mean, limited is a funny term. I'm just saying.
Jordan Poyer limited in practice.
Let's see. Let me pull up my injury report notes. The only guy that I think
now Phillips isn't practicing, so I would probably say he's not.
It sounds like Ed Oliver has a chance. Poyer is trending in the wrong direction. Dane Jackson has a better chance than Poyer based on the notes I have, and it seems like Gabe Davis is going to be fine. But there's a lot of DMPs in there as well.
Yeah,
and so like we talked about it with the Saints. Like sometimes you can just physically see the length of an injury report and be like, and then you're saying, Sean, back-to-back road spot, like they gotta. There's extra movement there. They're coming off a game where everyone was cramping, and again, it's so easy to use that case for the defense, but it affects the offense too.
No, the offense did run 90 plays, and again, like
so, could they be a little sluggish? Could they? You know,
they could be. And this is a good nugget I found. Teams coming off a road game in Miami are 57, 79, and 4 against the spread. So 42%. You know,
because
we always talk about.
Shit.
Well, it's hot as shit. You know, you might be doing a little. Decaf or fully caffeinated nose beers down there.
They don't sell decaf nose beers in Miami, bro.
They only have full calf.
Speaking of which, random interact. I'm completely derailing the breakdown, but random interaction. It's related though, because Buffalo, of course, Ken Dorsey throws the tantrum, right?
Yeah.
Later that day, I see Billy the director of Cocaine Cowboys and the U. For those who've seen the 30 for 30, both the U and the part 2. He's not being allowed to show his movie at the University of Miami, and so I quote tweeted with the Ken Dorsey thing, like, "Oh, fellow Miami alum feels the same way." He liked it. He liked my humor about Ken Dorsey, that private school pussy, even though he was also a private school pussy. Yeah, I think that's the angle we haven't gotten to yet, Sean. The coaching. The Brian Dable effect is starting to be felt by this Buffalo Bills team.
Well, you know,
how do you bounce back from a tantrum?
I was
that?
listening to some guys talk analytics on it, and apparently what it is it's this weird thing where they're not being as aggressive on early downs. They're taking their shots on third down, so they have a bunch of these long drives. They are getting some of the big plays, but here's what I'm scared about: Josh Allen off a loss, 5-1-1 against the spread, last 7 games off a loss. You know, and maybe the Bills defense, which I think the Bills defense is really good. Baltimore has done well against Buffalo at home, 5-0 straight up last home games. To me, the kind of the deciding factor, because I really was going back and forth on this, is the Ravens are getting Ronnie Stanley back. So Von Miller, you know, being able to slow down Von Miller, who leads the league in pass rush rate, which is a huge thing going up against Lamar. If you can completely unleash Von Miller against a backup tackle, I'm pretty worried. But the fact that they're getting Ronnie Stanley back, by all accounts, I'm with you. Let's go Ravens.
Did you see the Lamar accepting the Nickelodeon award?
I saw. I didn't. Was there a video?
Yeah.
Okay, I missed the video. I saw the
it's in my feed at Kramer Center. Look, I'm not fading that. He's quietly putting up ridiculous numbers, and I feel like we're not even really discussing it.
Well, and to that point, he is our quarterback for our ETH fantasy league, and
team on his back.
He has he's put up the most fantasy points for a quarterback in the first 3 weeks of all time in fantasy football, and I wasn't even really aware of it. I knew, like,
that's what I mean.
I knew. I go, he's looking good. I hadn't really wrapped my head around the historic implications of his of how well he was doing.
Well, and here's where you compound it. You say, well, shit, he threw for how many touchdowns? I mean, that's the thing. He's doing it with his arm. He's getting paid this year, maybe by the New York Football Giants. We'll see.
This is part of the reason why Ryan's so high on him.
Hey, I have an MVP ticket, Sean. We were high on him preseason. Relax.
I'm still high on him. Hey, you know what else I'm high on? No house advantage. Degens, you guys gotta sign up for this thing. It is really cool. It's like playing one of those big DFS tournaments, except instead of just picking the players, you can pick over under all their player props. They have a really big list. So again, if you're in a state where you can't get down on player props, this is a fun way to get involved. They got contests where you can win $250,000. I know on our prop show, we're going to be giving out some of our favorite no house advantage plays. So stay tuned for that. And if you don't want to do the big like prop contest tournament style, you can just go straight up against the house. And again, if you go 5-0, you can win 20x. You don't have to do 5, but up to 5 player props. They got you covered. NBA as well. NBA's coming back. PGA, NFL, they got it all. Just go to nohouseadvantage.com. Promo code SGPN. Get a first deposit match up to $25. Nohouseadvantage.com. Promo code SGPN for that first deposit match up to $25. Me encanta football americano. I love American football, and I also love Babbel, man. Babbel is great. I go down to Costa Rica a bunch. Really love that country, and it really is an awesome experience to be able to talk to people in their native language. you come down there, you don't want to be that American. I mean, I do wear my American flag T-shirt on there just because, hey, America's pretty cool. But you want to interact with some locals. You want to not get ripped off at a restaurant or whatever it is. Maybe you want to impress a lady who speaks German, or probably not German, but maybe French, maybe Italian. There's a lot of hot Italian chicks.
Ciao.
Ciao, Bella. Imagine how cool that would sound and sophisticated while you drink your espresso and eat pizza. Everyone says the pizza in Italy is bad. It's actually pretty awesome. Either way, Babbel makes learning a language fun and easy. All you got to do is go to babbel.com/SGP. Get 55% off your subscription. Are you kidding me? Babbel.com/SGP, up to 55% off your subscription. Babbel, language for life. Last but not least, Odds Trader. I love Odds Trader, especially if you're going to get into live betting. It's nice to just have a site that has all the live lines right there, right in front of you. They also have a bet tracker, live scores, play-by-play updates, player stats, game day stats, projected game day weather. They really have it all. It truly is a one-stop shop. Every day where I'm starting to handicap, I kick it off by going to oddstrader.com/blue wire, ODDS trader.com/blue wire. Odds Trader, the #1 site for all your game day bets.
All right. What, 5 games down, a lot more to go. This would be a close your eyes special, Sean, because the Los Angeles Chargers, should we call them the Los Angeles Chargers of Anaheim just to nag them a little bit? They underperformed the spread by 1 million to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are #2 in DVOA. That's crazy. Chargers heading to Houston now. -5 on the road, -240 on the money line, 195 for the Texans. 44 is the total. Is there a player on this team that was projected to be like really good that hasn't gotten hurt?
Dude,
Mike Williams, be careful. Derwin James, like sleep on your back.
Yeah, it's a tradition unlike any other. The Chargers amassing good, high quality talent, and then just completely through poor luck, injury.
Or continuing to hire the guy who stabbed Tyrod. Maybe that's why.
How does their team doctor still have a job? So many.
Well, the last guy was Pro Football Doc. So if you want to have some fun, look into that guy's checkered past. They've definitely been running some malpractice. Maybe they're just shipping opiates. It's a cover for a pain management clinic.
I mean, again, like eye test, Herbert's not 100%. They're playing through it, so I don't think he's going to be 100% for this game. I think we've seen the Texans defense be pretty solid. Is it dominant? No, but I think again the Texans have an identity. Their identity is they can stick around in
Their
games.
identity is a white beard on Lovie Smith's face.
Yeah, it looks like kind of like a Santa Claus vibe if he was a defensive coordinator turned head coach. You got Dameon Pierce, who's been super fun, and I think they can just ugly up a bunch of games. They just don't. They're not a good team, Ryan. And Davis Mills, when you need a 3rd and long, he's not going to hit it. Yeah. But they just don't strike me as a team that gets blown out. Like the defense is too good. Their offense gives you no opportunities because they'll get a couple first downs and then they'll punt. Like they play this ugly field possession style game. I mean, that Bears game was a great example of it. Like they just hung around. They stuck around that entire game. Davis Mills made one really bad mistake. They would have covered if he got it early in the week or a push at 3. But again, like I just don't think they're going to get blown out, especially at home, especially against the Chargers team that I just don't think this Chargers team warrants being a road favorite. Herbert is 6-10 against the spread as a favorite of -3 or more.
Rashawn Slater out.
Yes.
I like the pass.
Joey Bosa out.
But specifically, you have a quarterback with fucked up ribs. Your all-world left tackle's out. Your center probably out. Do you even put him out there?
Yeah.
Is there a chance?
I mean, they put him out there for last week's game, and they had him out there in the 4th quarter when they were down 28 points and the game was clearly out of hand. And you look at the Chargers, like why did they lose that game against the Jags? Because they couldn't stop James Robinson. I think Dameon Pierce is as explosive as James Robinson.
That's a hot take. No, I mean, I like the angle. Obviously, I'm taking the points here, but
I don't think this is a money line play because I do think, and again, the Chargers, they're the Chargers. Like remember that game against the Chiefs where they were about to score a touchdown and really take control of the game, and then what was it? The tight end? I'm blanking on his name. Everett just kind of like dogs it going out on the route, and then it turns into a pick six going the other way. That's just the Chargers. There's gonna be a bad defensive play that probably isn't Herbert's fault, but maybe he should get some blame.
I just think this defense completely changes when Bosa's gone. It sounds like J.C. Jackson re-aggravated something.
Yeah, he's not gonna play, and Khalil Mack is good when he's playing again opposite of Joey Bosa. No Joey Bosa, all of a sudden you can slide protection to Khalil Mack, and you're gonna be all right.
And it sounds like even Keenan Allen may not play. Like there's still uncertainty.
Yeah,
there.
he's trending towards coming back, but again, you're going in that Texas heat, and it's still pretty hot down in Texas.
Yeah, humidity.
That's not good for a hamstring. And shout out to
Darius. We got the dry heat out here.
Yeah.
I can't deal with that humidity.
They do have humidity down there. You ever try and drink a beer in Texas? Thing is like sweating like a nun in a cucumber patch. That's a classic dad joke.
Don't trip.
But Darius Knox in the YouTube chat pointing out. Chargers going to ruin a bunch of teaser legs and money line parlays. 100%.
Not getting anywhere near this one.
Yes, sir.
Look, the close your eyes special makes me see the value in the Chargers because this was 7 on the look ahead. But come on, there's better opportunities for. Like I said, Sean, there's a lot of shit you got to wade through to find the value this week.
Value hawks engaged.
Well, we might be value snakes this week, so they're slithering through the marsh of shit. Seattle heads to Detroit, where the Lions are laying 4.5. This was as high as 6, -220 on the money line. Seahawks +180. 48 is the total. Jesus, Dan Campbell's not supposed to be a favorite. He covers the spread when he's a dog, but he doesn't win. When you're the favorite, you got to win to cover the spread. Not sure he'll be able to comprehend that.
Well, and Amon-Ra St. Brown didn't practice, so stay tuned. Maybe I'll have to swap him out of my DFS lineup.
It's another long injury report too.
Yeah, I do think I'm with you, Kramer. I think Amon-Ra is a gamer. I imagine he'll suit up. But again, I guess we'll have to see.
No way his dad's gonna let him not suit up, right?
The problem is who is
you pussy son? What do you want to play in the NBA?
I mean, the Seattle defense isn't good. Their offense isn't good on the road. Maybe the Lions make the mistake of blitzing. Geno Smith, who's actually turns out kind of decent against the blitz. If you looked at his PFF grade, he's actually like noticeably better than Jared Goff, which is pretty hilarious. But Goff sucks on the road. He's good at home. Like it's a pretty stark contrast between how he looks on the road and how he looks at home. And I think I like Aiden Hutchinson against the Seattle offensive line. I think they're going to be able to get some damage done. And I just can't imagine Seattle's offense putting up many points on the road, even though Detroit's defense is porous and Detroit is 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 games. How long can they keep that up? But
how many of those games were they favored?
Yeah, that's also true. One, because they had that one game against the Commanders where they were favored, although maybe that closes a pick. I don't know, but their Lions are putting up 31.7 points per game. It looks like DeAndre Swift probably not going to go now, although I feel pretty good with Jamal Williams in there.
Pete Carroll has schemed. All right, so Jared Goff has faced the Seahawks 9 times in his career. Yeah, only 3 of those games. And one was in his rookie season when he was barely throwing the ball. Only in two of those games, not counting his rookie season, did he not throw an interception. I don't want to give Pete Carroll all the credit, but it seems like he knows how to get after Jared Goff when he's in a much better situation playing for the Rams. So, there's some familiarity here. And I think on one hand, you could say, well, Jared Goff is 5-4 against the Seahawks with Russell Wilson in his career. The other side, including dominating him, only losing once at home to this Seahawks team, again on the Rams. But I do think the more relevant thing is that Pete Carroll is still the coach and the defense, and they will know a way to scheme up ways to get Jared Goff confused. You compound that with the injury report. I hate that I'm not getting +6, but I can't lay the points with Detroit. Can't do it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I still think the
Rashad
Seahawks,
Penny has a game.
The Seahawks secondary is pretty banged up as well.
No, I look. There's a lot of. I think the Lions injury report had 10 people on it today.
Yeah.
10 people missed practice today.
Yeah, no, I mean it certainly is a concern. I'm not taking. You mentioned teams you're going to avoid taking on the road.
Feels like the last game.
I'm not taking Seattle on the road.
It's fair. Pete Carroll though, we fired up.
Yeah, I get it, but I just don't see anything.
When Pete Carroll is cheering because his defense is fucking up Jared Goff.
At the end of the day, I think Detroit's offensive line is actually a pretty good unit, and I think having a good offensive line against a Pete Carroll defense, that's how you win.
Jets head to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh coming off Thursday night football. Steelers are laying 3 here, -170 on the money line. Jets +140. 41 is the total. Zach Wilson is back, confirmed. They have some fun toys for him, but it's his first game back.
And he's been horrible on the road. 1-6 straight up, 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I know no one wants to back the Steelers right now, but you could maybe talk me into the Jets if someone competent like Joe Flacco. Although Flacco's been bad, but
pretty bad too.
He's competent. You want to talk about injury report? Jets offensive line is really banged up. I think the best unit on the field will be the Steelers defense, even without
Minka's back from the concussion protocol.
That's a good question. I assumed he was.
No, he is. I'm telling you, he's back. He's cleared.
New York again, 1-7 straight up in their last 8 games as an underdog. That one win, of course, was against Cleveland, a historic game. And Pittsburgh, again, maybe I'm falling into the trap of taking them. You think the line's too low?
It's just like Tomlin versus the Jets. I understand home field is at 3 points, but maybe in Pittsburgh against Zach Wilson, it is 3 points.
Well, and I think how do the Steelers get some points? I actually think Freiermuth could be having a nice game because Sauce Gardner may be able to slow down some of the outside receivers, and he's certainly good. But I think Freiermuth over the middle, the Jets have some weakness. I think Njoku had a pretty good game against them. Steelers have yet to win a game in regulation. Their only win, of course, was that crazy Bengals game. But the only win for the Jets was that Browns game as well.
Brissett was 22 of 27 for 229 yards against this team. I think Mitch could do something. I do think there's going to be opportunity here.
Why? My only question is why are they not letting Mitch use his legs a little bit more?
Because the offensive coordinator is an idiot.
Yeah, I think Matt Canada is really holding him back. Let him, do some read option stuff, get some boot action with Freiermuth. Open this up a little bit. I mean, the whole reason people thought Mitch Trubisky was going to be an upgrade from Ben Roethlisberger is because they assumed they were going to use Mitch's ability. Again, he's not Michael Vick, for Christ's sake, but he has the ability to run around a little bit. I don't understand not using it.
They're coming off a mini bye.
That's also true. And
maybe they're going to have some new wrinkles.
Tomlin, decent head coach with extra time to prepare. Love it. And it's Jets on the road. Who are we kidding?
It's really last thing. The Steelers are winless without TJ Watt. Just put that out there. 6 games he's missed. They've lost all 6 of them. But I will go back to that and take the Steelers. Next up, just making sure I didn't miss any nuggets. All right, next up, Jacksonville heads to Philly, where the Eagles are laying 6.5, -290 on the money line. Jacksonville +230. They're begging you to lay the points with the Eagles here. 47 is the total. I mean, September Super Bowl contender / winner only laying. This number's come down off the look ahead.
Yeah, because no one actually watched that Jags game against the Chargers. No one actually watched that game, the Jags game against the Colts at home, and they think oh, Jags, man, they're a machine. This Jags team, they're certainly better than they were last year. They're certainly better than I initially thought. The Jags lost 18 road games in a row. Are they really going to win back-to-back games?
The roulette wheel is a feisty bitch.
But you watch what that Jags team did against the Chargers defense. I just don't think they're going to be able to do that on the road against Philly. Now, this is a crazy road trip. You start out in Florida, you go out to Los Angeles, then all the way back to Philly while dealing with the hurricane at home. This to me is crazy. The Eagles defense is a huge reason why you should be on the Eagles here. I mean, they have, if you look at any sort of rankings, obviously one of the best cornerback group in the league. All 3 of them are top 10 according to PFF. I mean, Bradbury, Darius Slay, they're going to be able to slow down Christian Kirk, and as long as
who handles the slot,
Avonte Maddox, who's very good. He's like
that's who Kirk will be. Avonte
Maddox can handle Christian Kirk.
Ooh,
100%.
You heard it here first. 100%.
100%. I mean, he'll have like 60 yards. He's not gonna win the game for them. The Jags defense, what they're good at is stopping the run. But now, and probably would have been a sneaky team to play the Eagles last year because they could have loaded up the box and they could have slowed down their run game. I mean, Jags are holding opponents to 55 rushing yards per game. They could have really done some damage, I think, to this Eagles offense. But now you watch that Washington game. The Eagles, this is the first win the Eagles had since the double doink playoff game where they won without rushing for more than 75 yards. This team now has opened up the passing game. You have Devonta Smith going deep. You have Quez Watkins going deep. You have AJ Brown going deep. If you listen to the Die Hard Eagles podcast, I was all over Quez Watkins. I think he is going to be able to get behind the Jags secondary in the same way that Jahan Dotson did. How did the Commanders beat the Jacksonville Jaguars? A, they were at home, and B, they were able to get some deep shots.
Yeah.
Even Carson Wentz even turned the ball over. He had 2 picks, and they still got that win. All over the Eagles here. The Eagles have more first half touchdowns, 9, than the Giants, Bucks, Saints, Colts, Cardinals, Broncos, Patriots, and Commanders combined. This team is a unit right now.
So buy high.
No, I think they haven't even played a complete game. Like they haven't scored in back-to-back second halves because they've kind of taken their foot off the gas. And maybe this Jags team can push them, but I like the Philly atmosphere, the Philly defense, and the pass rush to go up against Goldilocks.
You're not at all worried about the ghost of Doug P coming back to town after he was wrongly terminated. And
Doug P likes Philadelphia. People will cheer Doug P when he returns. It's amicable. It's nothing personal, Doug P. We're just gonna kick your fucking ass come Sunday.
How many teams, per the Football Outsiders, have a top 5 offense and defense by DVOA?
1, the Jags.
The Jags.
Yeah. Well, again, the Eagles, you look at the season long stuff, the Eagles defense didn't look great on the road in Detroit, but they're not on the road in Detroit. They cleaned up a lot of that and they're at home against the Jags. This is a crazy road trip for the Jags.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I think you're underselling this team is playing for Doug P. They like Doug P.
Yeah.
He's got them going in the right direction outside of the fact that they're coming off back-to-back 24 or more point wins, which is something the Jags as a franchise, I don't think have ever done.
No, I think the Jags are
other than that historic spot. I like the idea that the team knows that this game is going to mean something for their coach. I mean, and unless the Eagles defense is that they're such a good unit that they can just completely wreck this.
Yeah. And that's the case.
That's the way I'm wrong. Cause I don't think it's the Eagles offense running away with it in this one.
Oh, I think they're going to be able to get some deep balls. Jalen Hurts is about to show you why he's rare breed, Ryan, why he's untamed, why he's putting up. I mean, you saw the Batman capes, Ryan. It's dog mask, but you can breathe with the Batman mask. I ordered my Batman mask. Spoiler alert. It's coming.
Oh, can't wait.
And real quick shout out, if you are a Eagles fan like myself, me and the diehard Eagles guys are going to the Arizona Cardinals game out there.
Really?
Yes.
All of them. All 3 of you are going to be there.
Yes.
Wow.
Justin, Rob, the whole team.
Like a fucking once every 20-year solar eclipse.
We're going to be going to the Fans of Philly tailgate. Again, highly recommend hooking up with Fans of Philly. You
must have left. My invite got lost in the mail, maybe.
Yeah, we're not inviting you. Fansofphilly.com, PHANS of Philly.com. They run a bunch of great trips. If you ever want to do like an Eagles road trip, especially to a game like Arizona, where the Eagles are going to be taking over the stadium, highly recommend them. Fansofphilly.com for any sort of Eagles road trip. It is a great experience. They're also partnered up with WinBet and Arizona, obviously a WinBet state. Bet $25, get 50 when you use their promo code XFans of Philly, and that's fans with a PHANS of Philly. Fansofphilly.com.
That's fat.
Pretty hot and tempting, Ryan.
PHAT.
It's gonna be awesome, and obviously hit me up if you're going to the Fans of Philly
poor
tailgate.
Sean. He's gonna have to watch Kyler scamper around the field. All right. Just promoting other websites now. That's cool. Washington heads to Dallas. Dallas coming off Monday Night Football. laying 3 here, -165 on the money line. Washington +135. 41 is the total. I don't really know what to make of this team because on one hand, I didn't see Cooper Rush do anything spectacular other than throw the ball quickly. He has no zip on his ball, but the Washington team sucks too.
Oh man,
I really don't know what to think about this. I don't believe Dallas is all that good, but they were fucking Humpty Dumpty, but was able to scheme up a way to keep Cooper Rush upright. Cooper Rush is now 3-0 in his NFL career.
I know. The only thing that's enjoyable about watching the Cowboys win is the looming QB controversy that's brewing in Dallas. And Jerry has an affinity for gingers. I mean, that was why that's why
is Jason Garrett on TV?
Oh my God,
he's so bad.
I was watching.
You can tell they set up bits for him and he still fucks it up.
My wife was hanging out watching the Sunday night game, and I go, "Watch this segment. It is the worst piece of television I've ever seen." And it's, you feel bad for them to a certain degree. It's like they're just, I mean, Jason Garrett completely sucks, but the other two, maybe they could figure it out if they had some sort of chemistry that didn't involve Jason Garrett. How do we talk ourselves into Commanders +3, Ryan? Because this should be like 5. I mean, aren't they just going to destroy?
Did you watch the pass rush last week?
The Cowboys.
Yeah.
And Carson Wentz just holds on to the ball too long. Please, someone in the YouTube chat, tell us why we should pick the Commanders. I mean, besides fuck Dallas, we have that great new Brandon Jacobs sound drop.
Yeah, I can probably play that, but yeah, fuck the Cowboy. At a minimum, shouldn't we be getting 3.5 here?
Here's what I'll say, Ryan. Here's how I'm talking myself into it. The Cowboys still need to win via establishing the run, right? Like I think that was a part of the reason they succeeded against the Giants. Again, part of the reason I think Khalil Herbert has a good game. The Commanders' run defense is actually the strength of their team. I don't think Dallas is going to be able to take deep shots down the field and convert them like the Eagles were against the Commanders. So give me Washington +3.
Let me throw a Hail Mary here.
Okay.
All right. I haven't been keeping everyone up to date, but the chalk 70% or more, Minnesota, Detroit, Dallas, Kansas City, and the Rams. Those are the 5 teams this week. So that would be the angle. Everyone's betting Dallas.
There you go.
Why is it not 3.5?
Fuck the Cowboys. Let's go.
Fuck. See, I told you, Sean, we're swimming through shit to find value this week. Because some of these games don't need to be on God's. Like got Cleveland coming off Thursday night football, huge win. Brissett looking like a real quarterback, 2-1, maybe even better than Deshaun Watson. Please let us have that happen. Cleveland's laying 2 here on the road in Atlanta. The dirty. Who knows what kind of down low activities Deshaun Watson would have been getting into had he been on the road trip here. We never got a follow up too on that massage conference that was going on in Cleveland. If there's any damage,
was he hosting it? Was Deshaun Watson? I still love that the team released a statement saying that if Deshaun Watson gets massages, they have to be from team approved masseuses. And then someone followed up with the question of what gender the masseuse would be, and they would not reveal that.
Isn't that the problem? The Texans were paying for his massages down in Texas. So, all right, Cleveland is laying 2 on the road. This feels a lot like the Carolina spot week 1, right? Like you have a questionable spot on the road. I understand Atlanta is just dog shit stopping the run, and there's a huge disadvantage here in the Browns' favor.
And someone pointed out, Ryan, that the Falcons, I think we said I forget who the other perfect team was, ATS, but the Falcons are also perfect 3-0 ATS.
I have all of yeah. Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Why do I not have them down here? I'll double check that.
Atlanta, to your point, also not good at rushing the passer, 27th in pass rush. And Brissett does seem like a guy, if you give him some time, he is going to get things done. On the other side, Browns are super banged up. Everyone saw that Myles Garrett car accident, crazy. Apparently he's like overall okay, but he's going to miss the game.
Which matters.
Yeah, which is huge. Anthony Walker, one of their linebackers, is done for the year, and it looks like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Nice job.
is also going to be out. I haven't seen the latest on him, but I think not having those linebackers will create some opportunities for a guy like Cordell Patterson, or maybe our boy Kyle Pitts finally gets his shit together. And
you mean offensive player of the week, Cordell Patterson? I tweeted it out earlier.
He is a dog.
All best ball season, I told you we're gonna regret passing on Cordell Patterson over and over and over again.
Yeah. No, I got cute. I just thought, there's no, they're gonna rework the offense. Maybe they're gonna use him as a receiver and not just keep pounding the rock with him as a running back. But it seems like that's what they're doing. So.
So we mentioned the injury report. We mentioned the only way that Cleveland wins this game is if they can just hand the ball off and take care of it. And
I think they could. That's certainly what's scary. And Mariota, again, when he just completely dropped that ball and tried to give the game away to the Seahawks, 4.95% turnover worthy play compared to Brissett, who is, you give him time, he's going to play clean, 2.73. He's not going to look amazing, but he's going to get the job done. It's scary to take the Browns as a road favorite, Ryan, but as you pointed out, this does feel like that Carolina game where my instinct would be to take the home dog, but I actually think now that they got Conklin back, their offensive line, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, Amari Cooper is showing signs of life. I think they're going to be able to move the ball in Atlanta.
I think Atlanta will be able to move the ball on them too. I think this is a fun game. It'll be a close game, and I'll take the point. Like my initial point of making that handicap was like I do feel like the Falcons will be on the right side of that, where Matt Rule and Baker Mayfield weren't. Maybe I just like Atlanta's offense better. Atlanta has a legit good offense. I mean, like the numbers are proving it out. They're a top 10 offense. Yeah. So give me the points. You keep. I mean, 3-0 ATS, Sean. Why change a good thing? Well,
because I wish I could pull the numbers, but teams that I feel like are perfect 3-0 ATS going into week 4, like what is their record overall? Cause I think I'm going to hit up our buddies on Elias and see if they can get us that number, because that would be certainly super interesting to me as far as like, it just, these guys are smart who are setting these lines, right?
Are they?
Yeah. You've talked to the guys over Win, but sharp gentlemen. Speaking of Elias, have you downloaded the Elias game plan app? If not, you're certainly missing out. Tons of great insight, tons of great nuggets when it comes to fantasy and betting. What do I got here? So many good nuggets. I'm scrolling. All right, here we go. The Dallas Cowboys are only 3-5 straight up and 3-5 against the spread at home since week 9 of last season, AKA not getting it done. I'm going to ignore all these negative stats and nuggets about the Commanders. But again, that's what's cool about Elias. They build different scenarios. They give you information to back it up. Great for NFL betting, great for NFL fantasy. And if you use our promo code SGPN15, you get 15% off your annual subscription. That's right. Download the Elias Game Plan app. Use our promo code SGPN15 and get 15% off your annual subscription. The Elias Game Plan app. Last but not least, Fubo TV. You want college football? You want pro football? You want the red zone? I mean, let's get real. Like, just get rid of cable. All I need as a man is just the NFL red zone. I'm good to go. Fubo has more than that, though. They got hundreds of channels of live sports and entertainment. I mean, to me, that live sports is my entertainment. But if you watch live sports shows, you can also watch those. Cloud-based DVR, no contract, no commitment. Just keep Fubo around. If you don't like it, cancel it, but you're gonna like it. FuboTV.com/SGP, 15% off your first month. FuboTV.com/SGP.
Last thing I'll leave you with the Cleveland Falcons game. It's a road sandwich non-conference spot with the Chargers on deck. I know the Chargers aren't as sexy as they were before. And shout out to the Win. This is one of their kind of sharp angle games. The money pretty split, or the tickets pretty split down the middle. But Atlanta's catching 90% of the bets, or the handle. So what does that tell you? Tickets split, all the money on Atlanta, the line's not moving. Next up, Arizona. We only got 3 late games, and one of them is Arizona heading to Carolina, where the Panthers are favored -1.5, -120. Arizona +100. 42 is the total. I don't know. I'm just a sucker for punishment with this fucking Arizona team. I'm going back to the well. I can't bet on Carolina.
We bet on Carolina last week. That was the week to bet on them.
Yeah. I'm saying I can't bet on Carolina
yeah.
this week as a fave. Again, there's some teams you just can't. Like last week was a good spot. We told you it was a great spot. I locked it up, and this week it's like cool. Matt Rule. I'm hearing we've heard rumbling. Sources close to the situation. Yeah. Sean, I picked up this nugget on the drive in. Sounds like Matt Rule could be fired midseason. Sounds like Matt Ryan could be fired if he loses this game.
Matt Ryan?
Sorry. Freudian slip.
Matt Ryan should be fired as well.
I know the odds have been shuffling around, but it does seem like there's real smoke around the Matt Rule. Like this could be the end of the road for Matt Rule. If they get embarrassed by Cliff Kingsbury, a coach who also is close to getting fired, I got to imagine the owners.
Matt Rule again. This nugget just sums up the entire Matt Rule. And error on me. I thought Matt Rule was gonna work out in the pro level. Like he checked a lot of boxes.
Who knew him and Joe Judge both would suck ass?
Well, Joe Judge was a little more obvious.
Just saying that was the Giants like 1A 1B.
Yeah. Oh no, we missed out on Matt Rule. I mean, I was kind of bummed. I'm like, you got to get Matt Rule because he went to multiple college programs and turned them around. That's usually a good sign. But some guys just don't have it for the professional, the National Football League. Matt Rule, 1-in-25 when allowing 17 points or more. That is insane.
Kyler's not losing to Baker Mayfield. There's history there.
There is.
Cardinals
remember how good the Cardinals were against the spread on the road last year? I mean, remember the Cardinals won 8 in a row.
I just refuse to believe
they were 8-1 against the spread on the road last season.
I refuse to believe the Cardinals suck this bad.
The problem is, and shout out to the Panthers fans who
who knew this was something anyone tracked.
Yeah, the Panthers fans reached out and they're like, listen, I know you're gonna want to, or no, I forget it was Cardinals fans. Yeah, Cardinals fans are like, listen, I know you're gonna want to take Cliff Kitchens on the road. I forgot about that nickname, Cliff Kitchens, but
Freddie Kitchens, R.I.P.
Panthers, they own us. Arizona 0-6 straight up in their last 6 games against Carolina. 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 games when playing on the road against Carolina. Christian McCaffrey though not practicing because of a thigh injury. Ryan,
I don't think it's serious, but I hate that it popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah, late pop up on the thigh injury is a horrific sign. Arizona's getting Rondale Moore back. That could be enough. This is another.
Is that for sure?
Oh, I kind of thought it was a foregone conclusion.
I know I threw him out of DFS. I'm tracking it. It sounds like he got a limited practice on Wednesday, which is great news.
This is a nugget that sums up the entire Panthers team, or at least their offense. Their defense has been playing good. Laviska Shenault is second on the team in receiving yards with 90. He wasn't active in week 1 or 2 and only has 2 targets. That's insane.
I don't know what to think. Ben McAdoo, clearly not a good offensive coordinator anymore. But
Panthers are only allowing 183 passing yards per game. To me, the way the way they get this win is fucking Kyler has to start running the ball, and that was one of the reasons I was kind of down on them preseason. I think I gave them the division by default. Again, was just totally out on the NFC West in general, but I was like, now that he's got this big deal, is he going to run a bunch? We just haven't seen it, and that's when he's good. When he does that schoolyard bullshit that he did against the Raiders. Will he do that, Ryan? I think you're right. I think he's desperate. Check the Call of Duty schedule.
I don't think there's anything going on this weekend. Okay. I think it's October 28th. Funny enough, the Halloween weekend that we will be out in Texas. Hanging out with the 12th man there. The injury report is a concern. We've used it as a justification to fade some other teams. They do have quite a long list. I would say I think some of it is kind of veteran stuff. Like Hollywood Brown didn't practice, Zach Ertz didn't practice. That's not injury related. I am a little James Conner being banged up doesn't concern me too much because they have some decent backups. It's really the line injuries. And yeah, is Rondale Moore coming back? Because I think that gives them one additional weapon. Unfortunately, there's no world where I'm going to see a Matt Rule, Baker Mayfield laying points I mean, again, Sean, this may never happen again. This is like seeing a fucking asteroid or NASA crashing into an asteroid. We may never see Matt Rule favored in another game.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, although Cliff Kitchens on the road,
but
also,
again,
but they randomly were good on the road.
To my point, how bad is this slate of just like we're just swimming through shit?
You're right, Ryan. Maybe we shouldn't watch the game. No, I'm going Arizona.
Broncos head to Las Vegas. I'm also in Arizona, where the Raiders are laying 3, -2 or -145 on the money line. Broncos +120, 45.5 is the total. Vegas is one of those winless teams. We didn't mention with Houston.
I think they're the only. You're winless
with Houston.
Raiders are the only 0-3 team.
They're 0-3 straight up, 0-3 against the spread. Russ and this offense have looked bad. Nathaniel Hackett.
Why do we have to pick one of these teams?
Is screaming up the board for first coach to be fired. I mean, so let's look at this. What do we do sometimes when two bad teams are playing each other? What's the best unit on the field? Broncos defense.
True.
Broncos are coming off a barely win on the at home. Now they're leaving.
Yet the top 16 points, Denver.
Meanwhile, I still like the pieces that the Raiders have. I thought
the Raiders played a decent game against Tennessee. I don't know. Maybe
they came back. They showed some scrap. Matt Collins is stepping in nicely for Hunter Renfrow. They still.
Are you talking about the leading receiver for the Las Vegas Raiders? Matt Collins, 14 receptions for 240 yards. What were the odds be that Matt Collins would have been the leading receiver? This is a good nugget. What scares the shit out of me is the coaching matchup here, because I think they're both pretty bad right now. McDaniels, he is the third full-time Raiders head coach to go 0-3 to begin their tenure with the organization.
We got to get our shit going mentally.
John Gruden, 2018 0-3, Art Shell 0-5, and McDaniels now 5-20 straight up in his last 25 games. Ryan, to your point, maybe we don't see this. Maybe we don't see McDaniels. He had a closed door meeting with ownership. Could you imagine that pumpkin headed looking guy?
What are they meeting about?
How sucky the team is. 1-11 against the spread in their last 12 games is a favorite, but 6-0 straight up and against the spread in their last 6 at home versus Denver. It does seem like this Raiders team shows up at home against the Broncos.
I almost want to pull it up because I can't imagine we were very high on this team early in the season. I can't imagine we were thinking they were going to start off on fire. So in some ways, are they really that off schedule? You had them going 1-3 in the first quadrant. I won't tell you what I had because I was high on them. They're definitely off schedule. I
think this could be their one win.
But this was one of the wins we had because we were always going to take Denver coming off a home game, a home primetime game.
Yep.
Heading to Vegas.
It does feel like a good time to spot them. Last season, the Raiders failed to cover the spread in 3 consecutive games, 3 different times. None of those streaks made it to a 4th game. Again, I don't think they're the same team since they got rid of Rich Bisaccia. He was the glue, not Derek Carr, that kept that team together. You're crazy to get rid of Rich Bisaccia. That being said,
Bisaccia was the glue. Derek Carr is the goo.
I'm not taking Nathaniel Hackett on the road. No. I mean, that game against the 49ers, man, they did not look good yet. You know, they have 2 of the ugliest wins so far this season.
If there's one thing I know after spending a week in Las Vegas, it's tough to be unlimited in that city. Russ is good. I mean, what does Russ do in Vegas? What do you think he does?
Eat that sandwich.
Eats ass. To quote Patty C.
That is a disgusting act.
Patty C told me. I'm just quoting him. New England, the Patriots. I'm also on the the Oakland Raiders of Las Vegas. New England.
We got to get our shit going mentally.
Heads to Green Bay, where the Packers are laying 10, -490 on the money line, 365 for the Patriots. 40 is the total. Brian Hoyer, it sounds like I know they're like there's some hilarious Belichick just saying day by day, but it sounds like Mac Jones going to be out for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
It sounds like Brian Hoyer is going to be the guy. So starting there what's the downgrade? What is the spread if it's Mac Jones? 7.5?
Probably
8?
7. Probably 6.
Is Mac Jones really that good?
Certainly not this season. He looked. I can't tell if it's the offense or him personally that was better last year. Certainly offense. I mean, he made some nice throws.
Having Josh McDaniels probably made that offense a little bit better.
Again, McDaniels, and we're already seeing it early on here. He does seem like that guy who is, the perfect coordinator, but not a head coach. Boston Capper pointing out Brian Hoyer 0-11 in his last 11 starts.
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
Capper, you're not laying the 10 here, surely.
No, and actually, I think this is the classic. Bill Belichick's pissed off. They're going to completely ugly up the game.
He did look pissed.
And I don't know if this Packers team has the receivers to completely blow out a team. Like, how are they going to win the game, Ryan? They win the game by running their offense through those two running backs. I think. Like Romeo Dobbs is maybe their best.
Is it
weapon.
Dobbs now? I liked it when it was Dubs better. I mean, I'm good with Dobbs too.
I love Capper and his hatred for Bill Belichick. Can you imagine if someone won you 6 Super Bowls and you just turn on them? No respect for the family.
No fucking respect.
The Packers are averaging 16 points per game this season. Yes, Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears. He was always going to get up for this game, but this is also a look ahead spot for the Packers to
Giants.
to the
Giants,
to London and the Giants. You're right.
Aaron Rodgers looking ahead to Dan Jones.
Capper saying we won't score 10 points. I don't think they'll need to. This could be a 16-7 game. Give me the Patriots 10 points. I mean, the Patriots as double-digit dogs with a backup quarterback. This is what Bill Belichick still gets excited for.
Here's my concern.
Yeah.
I don't think the Patriots have a great defense. So I do think I do worry about New England's ability to score. And
that is true.
I think the way this,
but
gets
I don't know
done,
if that. I don't know if that the Packers defense was all right.
The way this gets done is through the back door.
Yeah.
But the other way this gets done is 38-10. Like AJ Dillon 2 touchdowns, Aaron Jones 2 touchdowns. It just feels like they could establish the line of scrimmage on both sides, and Brian Hoyer is Brian Hoyer. I was shocked when we were looking this up in the preseason stuff, when I saw Brian Hoyer still the backup there. I think I said something along the lines of like, "Holy shit, how long has Brian Hoyer been there?" This is not appealing. He's no Cooper Rush, that's for sure. I'm gonna lay the points here, Sean.
All right.
My instincts are to take, but I do
just worry that you think the Packers can light them up. I'm gonna stick with the Pats
because they want to light them up.
They're England look ahead.
All right, but I think they have. That's why you light them up. That's why, perhaps we don't typically put a late game in the first half parlay, but maybe I'll throw out a couple versions.
You could talk me into teasing down the Packers though, down to 4, and maybe that becomes a teaser leg. But I'll stick with New England plus 10.
All right, Sean. Couple more games to go. Sunday night,
prime time.
Kansas City heading to Tampa Bay. We think
Capper keeps trying to bet me 18-year-old Jameson. Yeah, sure. But I'm not even that high on New England. Like, I'm not putting them on my card. It's not a lock, but yeah, I'll bet a bottle of Jameson.
Last week I rolled out Carolina defense and all my high stakes stuff, DFS. This week, Sean,
yes,
the defense is Green Bay.
Okay.
I think there's a decent chance they make they cause a mistake here. Back to the Sunday night game that is supposed to be in Tampa. We know where it will be rescheduled to if it needs to be rescheduled to, and that's Minnesota. Which that could be a hilarious situation.
Well,
I don't know how.
And just a reminder: usually, if you bet and then they move the location of the game, almost all sportsbooks void those bets.
Have they? And do we have any updated news on? Is it definitely being moved?
No, not that I've seen. I guess they're keeping an eye on it, but.
So the spread is now Kansas City laying 1.5 minus 120, Tampa plus 100, 45 is the total. As Sean mentioned, the bets will get voided if they change the time or location. Another one I grabbed early because as we were discussing this Sunday night, I think it was like why are the Bucks catching 2.5? They were even catching 3 at one point.
Yeah.
I do think the hurricane stuff is real. It sounds like Category 5. It's gonna fuck up Tampa. So there could be like if.
I mean, Tom Brady's been dealing with Gisele Bundchen. A hurricane's nothing.
I mean, I'll tell a quick story. A couple years back, Dick Olson decided to have a kid around FFPC weekend, so we didn't do FFPC in Vegas this year. I think it was 2017. I had just moved into a new house up where I live, and we had one of the worst fire seasons ever. And so I'm down doing this draft, right? Just having a weekend. We played some golf. We were going to do our fantasy draft at night. All of a sudden, the fire starts. I'm getting calls from the old lady. And now I'm sitting there trying to negotiate through the war room. We're drafting a $2,000 team, and I got to, all right, let me book you a hotel in Pasadena. If things get crazy, you can go out there. And so I could totally see that could be a massive distraction. But here's the problem. I think Tampa is still a work in progress. This is still Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. And frankly,
you get Mike Evans back.
Frankly, I think Patrick Mahomes is missing Tyreek Hill. I said it.
Wow,
I think
hot take.
I think the offense isn't quite the same.
Again, this to me,
and there's no way Tampa should be a dog here.
This to me is kind of similar to the Bills coming off a loss, where you're scared to fade a good team coming off a loss. But Tampa Bay 5-0 ATS as an underdog. Brady 10-1 against the spread as a home underdog. This is my favorite nugget. Brady is 16-1 against the spread after a loss when he's a dog. So that's crazy, right?
Not many, small sample size.
Yeah, because he doesn't lose back-to-back games, or if he does, he's certainly going to be favored in that following week. Mike Evans coming back against his Chiefs defense, I think, is a good opportunity for them.
Him coming back's huge too, because they're just not the same team without him. So,
I guess the counter is like the Chiefs. They're going to be hungry for this game. I do think Andy Reid is a better coach, so they have the coaching advantage. They're coming off a loss. They may be able to get some pressure on the Bucs because of their offensive line issues, but yeah, I'm still going to ride with TB here.
Well, I like the Bucs defense too. It's a fun matchup. The only thing that worries me is Mahomes gets super up, because this is like I got to show out for daddy moment, right? But again, it's odd to me the Bucs are home dogs. It just seems a little fishy.
Yeah, why would they? I don't. It's, to me, it's weird. They're
Bucs
getting
minus 2.5 makes sense.
Yeah.
Playing for the city.
We'll see where this game moves, or if it does move.
Based on the hurricane is essentially past Tampa at this point, so we should have some news pretty shortly. And like you said, the NFL has already announced that it will move to Minnesota if they do need to move it. You know why they don't want to move it? Because the weather on Sunday in Tampa looks beautiful. It's like sunny and clear. So we'll see what happens. Rams Monday Night Football. Sean McVay. Los Angeles Rams heading to play.
You like that?
Kyle Shanahan, Jimmy G, and the San Francisco 49ers -1.5, -120 on the money line. Rams +100, 42.5 is the total. Oh, Rams -1.5 again, huh? They're really going to do this. Doesn't McVay get owned by Shanahan?
Who hates Kyle Shanahan more? Sean McVay or Jimmy G? Did you see that video of Jimmy G? Your plays suck. Well, I didn't. I'm sure he didn't draw up for you to run out of the fucking end zone.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't even call it gravy, Ryan. Jimmy
Probably
G.
not.
No, he just calls it red sauce.
He has a soy-based gravy.
I mean, this, the Rams offensive line has been super suspect. We know Stafford and he just keeps throwing picks, man. 4 touchdowns in the air, 5 interceptions. Didn't look great against the.
This should be 3.
The
this
Cardinals.
is stupid. We just saw a tough spot in Denver. Jimmy G first start. They didn't give him the playbook. Like, let's not forget, he had no preseason. They didn't give him the playbook. This first game starting.
I'm on the Niners here. My concern is Trent Williams. Like, that Trent Williams injury to me is massive, right?
Yeah, 4 to 6 weeks.
The good news is the Rams don't have Von Miller anymore. They're also missing like their 2nd through 4th cornerbacks. If you're a yards per play guy, Rams are operating at a deficit. Offense they're right at 0. Offense 5.3, defense 5.3 yards per play. 49ers offense 5.1, their defense 3.9, best in the league. To me, it's like Bosa against this Rams offensive line. They're going to turn them over. Kittle I think could have a game, but I'm worried they're going to keep him in the block.
The Rams get a lot of credit for their defense, but if you start diving into the numbers, I get it. They played the Bills that skewed the numbers, blah blah blah, but they still play good run defense. So the matchup is still, they could force Jimmy G to have to pass the ball. I just like it's Shanahan versus McVay. Let's not overthink it. We're not having to lay 3. We're laying 1.5, and we're getting Jimmy G and this Niners team often just a bad spot. Just a bad spot. What do we say? Russ owns the Niners. Russ owns the Niners. It was in Denver. Elevation. Love the Niners here. Going back to the well.
Let's go.
Although the Rams being teased up is interesting. Although I feel like I've gotten fucked in the NFC West divisional game teaser before. All right, we did it.
We did it. Time for the Lock Dog Tease presented by WinBet. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/WinBet. Ryan, are you gonna? I feel like we got to keep putting you going first because of your lock record. Even though I'm looking to reset my lock mojo a little bit.
Reset it. Go first. There's no such thing.
No, I don't want to mess with it. You go first, Ryan.
Are you sure? Final answer?
I'm
ready. I'm fully prepared to fire whenever you're ready.
Well, I feel like we're going to be on some similar locks here.
Are we avoiding Thursday night? I feel like we should just discuss that macro. I feel like it's been good avoiding Thursday night.
Yeah, because it's Thursday night can get weird, Ryan, as we know. Yeah, you can go first, but I might be copying some of the locks because
we did that last week, didn't we?
Oh, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Did we copy a lock last week?
All right, let it rip.
All right,
keep the mojo alive.
So let's start with Monday Night Football.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Are we overthinking this? The Rams 31-27 against the Falcons. The Rams lost 31-10 against the Bills, and the Rams played not that good against Arizona. I think the 49ers have a game. San Francisco -1.5 going back to the chalk on Monday night. Hopefully it pays off this time. Lock number 2, Titans +3.5.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I almost went double dog, and then for my dog, we'll as much as I want to give you a hot take and say Jacksonville or Seattle or one of these, I'm just gonna keep it simple. Baltimore gets it done. 2-game losing streak. The only question I had was, do I lock up Baltimore +3? But I figured it'd be a better dog price for the tease. So much to eat here. Teaser number 1, Atlanta go to 8. That's fairly simple. We're going to take Arizona to 7.5 because, again, last time we'll ever get to do that with Matt Rule and Baker Mayfield. And then Tampa +7.5 feels about right.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Stanford Wong.
Yes. All right. My first lock. I mean, you got a Tennessee +3.5. I mean, I understand I'm copying it, but yeah, it's just, you know what? Or should I'll do Baltimore +3 and then make my dog Tennessee money line because I really like that juicy money line price for fading Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan sucks. We know this.
Yeah.
For my other dog, give me Pittsburgh -3 at home against the Jets.
That's a lock though, for sure.
Yes,
for the record. I know Tomlin's a dog, but
yeah, he is a dog. Extra time against the Jets at home. I know you shouldn't take the Steelers as a favorite, but it's only -3. No way they mess this up. All right, for my tease, I'm going to put the Bears up to 9.5. There's nothing wrong about teasing Justin Fields. What could go wrong? Arizona +7.5. And then last but not least,
teaser's kind of easy this week, right?
Philly -0.5.
Barely getting through any key numbers there.
Don't need it. I mean, I was thinking of locking up Philly.
Do a pleaser.
I probably will. That's a great idea, Ryan.
Do they still offer those?
Some places.
Can you get down on those anywhere? Shout out to those who remember the pleasers.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson likes a pleaser.
Fly Eagles fly, Ryan. Should I move? You know what? I'm gonna move. Should I move?
Oh, I love this. Just moving like chess pieces around the board. Which, by the way, anal beads was made up by Elon Musk.
That chess scandal.
You're gonna laugh at me, but I've spent at least 5 hours of my life learning about this.
I'm gonna move Eagles into lock position at -6.5, and I'm gonna take.
Oh, what?
What?
Okay. Well, now you're impacting the Circa card.
All right, then I'll keep it. I'll keep it.
Well, you don't change locks midstream, dude. What are you doing?
I do like the Eagles this week. I'm going to be betting a ton on them. All right, let's figure out the Circa card. So we both like Baltimore +3. Your lock San Francisco -1.5. Your other lock Tennessee +3.5. I'm also on Tennessee. Pittsburgh -3 is my other lock. And then so what? We just need one.
So we agree. I mean, to me, Bengals were very strong on. I kind of don't. Just out of principle, I've been trying to avoid locking that up for the folks that listen to the podcast on Friday.
Yeah,
you know, I'm a fan of everyone. So here are the games we agree on: Cincy, Minnesota, Houston, Washington. I don't like any of these. No. Arizona, Vegas,
Arizona,
Tampa, and San Francisco.
So for me,
can I tell you what would have been my next lock?
Oh wait, I forgot. Oh no, we already have San Francisco in there.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. The other thing I came very close to locking up is the Vegas Raiders. But then if it's not that, it's Arizona, bro.
Yeah.
Like what?
Or is it fun to have something on the London game?
No.
All right. Arizona +1.5. Yeah. We're not worried about. We are fading Matt Rule as a favorite.
Yeah.
All right.
Last time ever, right? Let's pour one out for Matt Rule. And hopefully he gets a job. I mean, the college coaches are in need right now. So we heard he was already fishing. It was reported by Colby Dan on the College Experience that Matt Rule has already had his agent explore collegiate options for next year. So
Baltimore +3, San Francisco -1.5, Tennessee +3.5, Pittsburgh -3, and the Arizona Cardinals +1.5. Those are our Circa million picks. And thank you guys as always for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow. Oh yeah, right? Or no?
What do you mean tomorrow? Yeah,
tomorrow with our
every day
with our NFL prop show, and then of course pregame and postgame show live on YouTube. Call in. Those are always fun. At sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. We can take your live audio calls. Very fun for the pregame show and the postgame show. Live postgame show, usually about 30 minutes, hour-ish after the late game closes out. Again, youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. Subscribe, get in the chat. Appreciate that. And Merch Mondays, jacking it up to $100 SGP store gift card. All you got to do is leave a rating and review over on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Screenshot it. Open up your app, the SGPN app. Click contest, submit it. Again, shout out to D Bettis and his son. D Bettis, feel free to tweet in your son's picks for this week. Love to follow a heater, see what the kid's up to.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Heater.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
Rest in peace, Coolio.
Kramer, let it ride.